Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 22 of the Amber Wave Show. Today we look back at last week's action against league leaders Fakenham Town, and we look forward to our massive FA VASE game against London Lions, and more cup action as hopefully the cup magic continues as we play Dereham in the Norfolk Senior Cup.
Firstly, on to last week's game. Though against Fakenham in the league, now we will have to work with what we think very carefully. Good evening, FA. The game kicked off in decent conditions on a good pitch.
Yeah, Yarmouth had the lion's share of possession and chances in the early exchanges of the match, with some half shots coming in from various Yarmouth players in various positions, none of which troubled the keeper too much.
In the 18th minute, tragedy struck for the Bloaters after what we think was a bizarre own goal that was missed by pretty much the whole stadium, as a pass was intended for Brandon Ling, but the ball was nowhere near him, and the Yarmouth player had the ball just outside the right-hand side of the 18-yard box and passed it into the net for the visitors to take the lead, which no one was unaware of because it was still literal silence. And all we saw was the ball placed on the centre circle, and we had no idea what had actually happened. Unfortunately, the goal was not caught on camera, so we have no highlight of that.
Yeah, Yarmouth seemed to push more pressure on from there, with a lot of luck being found on that right-hand side, with both the left mid and left back struggling to deal with the Bloaters attack for Fakenham.
Yeah, and on the 38th minute, through a fluffed clearance from the Fakenham, fell to the feet of the captain, George Cousins, who placed a shot towards goal. Initially, it looked like the keeper would make a routine save down to his left-hand side, but fortunately for the Bloaters, Fakenham's number 6 tried to deflect the shot, but only could deflect it past the keeper, nestling into the bottom left corner, levelling the score at 1-1. And here is the equaliser.
Just trying to base the shot. And it is off the Fakenham keepers! That is justice!
The Bloaters then carried on their dominance against Fakenham, but could not find that cutting edge. However, on the 3rd minute of additional time, the first of probably 24 extremely controversial decisions from the referee happened. Great Yarmouth had the ball in midfield with Riley Wilson-Towns when he was sandwiched with 2 Fakenham players on either side, one of which leaving a high, studs-up, horrible challenge on the Bloaters player. He even has marks of the studs on his upper thigh to hip. The referee blew the whistle immediately, and Riley Wilson-Towns received treatment for the injury. Bizarrely, after he received that treatment, the referee pulled a red card and sent him off. Yeah. So the player that was on the receipt of the horrible late challenge got sent off. And pretty much everyone was in shock. Fakenham players were in shock. Yarmouth players were in shock. And we found ourselves at the break 1-1 and down to 10 men. Before the start of the second half, though, we did talk to the Fakenham keeper as he was placing his bottle and his towel down. And he said he felt sorry for us and explained his feelings towards the officiating, which, let's say, he didn't think too kindly of. And in fact told us that the referee in the first half didn't want to give a free kick for Fakenham for reasons unbeknownst. So instead of the free kick, he gave a Bloaters throw-in the way of Fakenham.
Yeah, bizarre. The second half started underway, and the Bloaters looked to be fair like the side with 11 men. The ball in the second half remained in midfield of Fakenham's final third for probably 3/4 of the game, with some brilliant and sensational ball work from Tyler Halliday, Louis Duffield and George Cousins, while Sammy and Deeks were dominant in defence.
A brilliant play halfway through the second half could have seen Yarmouth through on goal, but a tight offside was given before the chance could muster any momentum. Fakenham then had the chance to take the free kick quickly while Great Yarmouth were composing themselves. However, after the ball was kicked, the referee blew the whistle for it to be retaken. He did apologise, and then Fakenham had to retake that indirect free kick. Fakenham then tried again to take it as soon as possible, while Yarmouth's players were still finding their positions, and again the referee blew his whistle for it to be retaken. Exactly the same position. It wasn't too far up the field. The reason, nobody knows. I don't even think the referee knew, to be honest. But then finally, for the third take, the referee let the ball get taken and the game was back in play. And yeah, on the second time he blew his whistle, you could just hear the groans from each set of players. Every fan in the stadium and even the linesmen started to look fed up.
There was a few late challenges all the way through the second half, predominantly from the Fakenham players towards the Yarmouth players, where a free kick was awarded to the Bloaters. However, the yellow card soon racked up for the Bloaters, as on 3 separate occasions the Yarmouth player who was fouled and awarded the free kick was booked immediately after. Fakenham had a sensational chance near to stoppage time after the first slight mishap from the Yarmouth defence, who had been nearly perfect all game. Lost possession, the Fakenham player had just the keeper to beat. He did, but could not beat the post. The ball bounced out and the rebounded shot went wide.
Yeah, and on the 97th minute, the worst decision so far of the game was given. The Fakenham player threw on goal and, as his words, lost control of the ball, and he dived a few yards outside of the 18-yard box, diving inside to the box. It was a very blatant dive. I think their players assumed that it was going to be given as a free kick for simulation. Our players definitely assumed it was going to be given as a free kick for us for simulation. However, the referee pointed to the penalty spot.
Yeah.
Not only did he point to the penalty spot for the dive outside of the 18-yard box, he brandished his second yellow card of the game. And this time, it was to Sammy Adams, who just happened to be the closest player to the Fakenham's player who dived. Deeks then found himself in the referee's book and sent to the dugouts, which we assume is a sin bin. I'm guessing because that's the only reason you would get sent to the dugouts with a yellow card. And the only thing I could assume, obviously we don't know, we haven't spoken to Deeks about it. The only thing I could assume was that Deeks told him exactly what he thought of him, exactly what everyone thought of him in the stadium, and the referee probably didn't like it too much. So Yarmouth down to 8 and deep into stoppage time, and it was the last kick of the game. The last kick of the game, the Fakenham player stepped up, shot bottom left-hand corner. Brandon Ling dived to his right, and the final score was Fakenham 2, Great Yarmouth Town 1, and this was the winning penalty.
Well,
you need to tell your own team that they should get their shit together so you haven't got
it is a penalty for Fakenham Town. Who's going to take this? And it's in! And Fakenham are in front! And they are going to win this game! And there it is, full time!
Overall, a game that would have been brilliant,
But was ruined by poor officiating.
but was ruined by interesting decisions that 99% of people would think was poor. We're not saying it was a poor refereeing game. We're not saying that. But I feel that if we had a different referee, that I'm trying to word it. Oh, Min's not very happy. I'm trying to word it in a way. If the game was allowed to be played and certain decisions that were controversial, that the majority of people thought differently, it could have been a very good game between two good teams. I think that's the most polite way to put it.
Yeah. But now, with that all said and done, we look forward to the next 2 games that come thick and fast as our cup run hopes to continue.
Yep, so firstly, let's dive into this weekend's match as we are in the FA VASE third round proper away to London Lions. Now, a little bit of background into London Lions. London Lions, also known as Maccabi Lions. I'm really coffee. They were initiated into the football pyramid back in 1995 and already have over 25 league and cup titles to their name.
This is also their first ever appearance in the FA VASE third round proper, as their previous highest was in the second round proper back in the 2012-2013 and the 2017-18 season.
Yep, their highest attendance so far as a club was 197 in the FA VARS game back in the 2017 to 2018 season against Clacton-on-Sea. 190 fans were through the gates.
Yep, and London Lions currently play in the Spartan South Midland League Premier Division, which is the same division as Great Yarmouth but in a parallel league. In the league this season, they are sitting third with 10 wins, 2 draws and 4 losses, sitting on 32 points and a positive 24 goal difference.
Yeah, so in their last 5 games, they have won 4 and they have lost 1. Over their last 5 games, they have scored 21 goals. Yeah, 21 goals. And they've only conceded 6.
Pretty good, that.
Yeah.
Now, London Lions are now further than they have ever been in this competition, but Yarmouth will be looking to match or better our best FA VARS run, which came all the way back in the 1982-1983 season, where we reached the semi-finals.
Yeah. Overall, a game between two sides doing well so far in this league, so it will be a good match to watch. London Lions do play on AstroTurf, so a bit different to the normal grass pitch that we're used to, so it will be a challenge, but at least... If it is because it is AstroTurf, I think it's a 4G pitch, but they say it's like a 7th 8G pitch, so it's like 7th 8th generation of a 4G pitch. It won't get called off.
That's a very good positive point from that.
Now I know the score line. I know they score a lot of goals
because they beat Stanway Pegasus 10-2 to get to this stage.
Yeah, but and Stanway Pegasus is a side that.
When we won the league in that year, they were up there with us.
They were up there with us, but they play a game that if you have a strong referee, they're gonna get frustrated because they're gonna get decisions against them all the time. Stanway were very much a side of
aggression. And
the referee's not looking. I'm gonna stamp on it, or I'm gonna put in a challenge a lot harder, or I'm gonna go through a player. And a lot of those decisions when they played us, the referee was like, "Nah, it's fine." But I think 3-2 win for the Bloaters. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a very tough game. I think we're going to be up for it because we've obviously beaten Great Wakering, who were the semi-finalists. So our
finalists.
Runners up in the final. Sorry. So our confidence going into this should be very high. We should be very up for it. We're sort of, in a way, a little bit of the underdogs going into this slightly.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. It's away from home all the way in London, so it's a long trip. We want to make the most of it. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Yarmouth.
Ooh, okay.
But now on to midweek action, as the Bloaters are back in Senior Cup action against Dereham Town in the Norfolk Senior Cup.
Now, we can't really give you an up-to-date league position of Dereham and Yarmouth for this game, as we do not know, obviously, the results from this weekend's fixture, because most of the sides in our league have been knocked out. Now, Dereham sit in 7th on 32 points, and overall, the last 5 games, Dereham have won 2, drawn 2, and lost 1, scoring 5 goals while conceding 4.
Yep, and Great Yarmouth, however, over their last 5 games, have won 2, drawn 1, and lost 2, with 5 goals being scored and 8 goals being conceded. Goals scored in the penalty shootout haven't been counted in this statistic.
Yeah, Dereham and Yarmouth have already gone head-to-head this season at the Wellesley this year, which ended a 2-1 win for Dereham.
We know Dereham are a hard and physical side, with some of their players knowing how to slow the game down and at a pace that suits them to get a foothold in the game and dominate, so it will be a really hard game for us. That being said, the players will want to put the league defeat to bed and come away with a win and a ticket into the next round of the Cup. I think the score is going to be a 1-0 Yarmouth.
And I am going to go with a 2-1 win for Yarmouth. But yeah, that's all we have time for this Amber Wave show. So thanks again to Tommy from Great Yarmouth Town TV for letting us use the goal clips, even though the first one was missed. But then again, I think everyone missed it, to be honest with you. I was doing commentary on our Amber Wave X account. I nearly said Twitter. Our Amberwave X account for that game, and
No one else really.
I
I
saw the goal in the net, and I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, we were in possession of it, and you just think, right, okay, it's going to be fine. Nothing's going to really happen. The next thing you know, it's in your own net.
Yeah, it was weird. But yeah, other than that, up the Bloaters.